One of the main components of the Prolean process is blood work. Our goal in this video is to answer the questions, what is blood work for, and what do we look for? We actually look for a lot of different factors that are the underlying causes of many health frustrations. First, let's discuss one of the most important tests that we run, your fasting insulin levels. Fasting insulin is critical to understand how our bodies run. Here's an example. For simplicity's sake, let's say that your blood sugar levels are normal. In the morning when you wake up, you eat a breakfast of oatmeal, a banana, and juice. Is there any glucose in that breakfast, even though it's oatmeal? Of course. As a starch, oatmeal soon turns to glucose and enters your system. Your pancreas wants to keep glucose levels normal, so it sends insulin to take care of the extra glucose. Insulin's job is to pull glucose out of the bloodstream and into the cell. That's how your blood sugar is balanced. The problem is that the glucose now in your cell becomes your body's fuel instead of fat. The fat then gets stored. At the same time, the insulin clears off of your cell and allows the human growth hormone to work in the very same receptor. HGH triggers a reaction within the cell to recuperate and rest, which is key to staying young. HGH also burns fat, which is a big win for you. HGH especially works at night, which is when you burn most of your body fat. Unfortunately, this can all go wrong. Introducing insulin resistance. Sometimes your pancreas struggles to maintain equilibrium. This can happen if you constantly keep a flow of glucose coming into your system or if you have a family history of diabetes. That also means that as glucose constantly enters your system from the food you eat, insulin must be on the cell all the time just for maintenance. Because the insulin is on the cell so much, it loses effectiveness. This causes the pancreas to produce even more insulin in order to remove the glucose from the bloodstream and prevent hyperglycemia. The glucose eventually moves to your cells, and at this point, it can appear that your blood sugar levels are in healthy range once more. While this might be true for the moment, the bigger issue is the large quantity of insulin that's required to keep it steady. The problem is that all the insulin on the cells takes a long time to clear off. That means that when the HGH comes along to provide rest and regrowth, it gets rejected because there's still insulin in the receptor. Losing the HGH means you also lose the chance to burn all those fat stores, and you miss out on rest and recuperation. This is why it can be so dangerous to be insulin resistant or pre-diabetic. What does this look like in real life? Well, it's almost impossible for you to burn fat. When you wake up each morning, you feel terrible because your body hasn't received the rest it needs. You feel like your efforts are wasted because there's no progress no matter how hard you work. That doesn't have to be the case. At Prolean Wellness, we know how to reverse insulin resistance because we do the blood work that gets down to the real problems. By testing your fasting insulin levels, we can determine your cell's ability to burn or store fat and prevent it from turning into type 2 diabetes. Another important test we run is for DHEA sulfate. This hormone is the building block of testosterone and estrogen and vital for brain health. After age 25, your DHEA levels can begin to drop and cause huge issues. Meet Jeff. At 40, his DHEA levels should have been at 300 or 400, but were only at 35. The result was that he couldn't build up his testosterone and his metabolism was much slower than it should have been. The combination of these factors made it very difficult to capture the benefits of his exercise. When his levels were where they should have been, it made all the difference. We also do a complete thyroid panel, including TSH, free T3s, and free T4s. Unlike most clinics, we look for the ratio between these chemicals instead of just their levels. Many doctors just look at the reference ranges, but there is much more that needs to be evaluated. Next, we test your cortisol levels. Cortisol is a steroid that your body makes in response to inflammation. It tells your body to store fat due to stress, which increases belly fat. High levels of cortisol also contribute to high levels of insulin production, which takes us full circle back to insulin. Our goal is to drop those levels and get rid of both your stress and your belly fat. Along with that, we test CRP, which measures the amount of inflammation in your body. Inflammation causes cortisol release and creates all sorts of havoc in your digestive and circulatory systems. Our custom comprehensive chemical panel ensures that all other levels, like your liver and kidney functions, are where they need to be. We must make sure that you are healthy enough to begin the program. Through our personally crafted diet programs and physician-directed health assessments, we can take someone with many metabolic issues and restore him to proper function in about 5 to 6 weeks. Knowledge is so powerful, and we will work with you to understand what's happening in your body and how you can control it.